What's up, guys? So today I did all right, $410 off of 118 commission and $118.30 commission and 71 tickets. So obviously there's some over trading there. It's uh, quite a bit more than I expected, and I also took some bigger sizes, and I'll explain some of that rationale. So from that perspective, I am not proud of myself for doing that. Um, for some of them, I took quite a bit of risk. So let's start with some of the other ones, small ones. So AZN, I played both the short and long strong stock. I was thinking that it was going to break past the high of the day here at this level, the 39.68 at the 1 minute chart. However, I didn't do that. It dropped on me, and then I stopped out. I think that was only 500 shares. I went 1,000 shares short here, but I had a much closer stop out. So when I saw I was dropping, it was making a new 5 minute low at the time, even though it popped up. It was making a new 5 minute low, so I went short 1,000 shares. When it moved against me, I quickly exited. I didn't want to carry that big of a loss, but still, 500 shares, pretty substantial drop, minus 40. Pretty small move up, $40 loss on the other side too. So that's kind of the situation you're dealing with. In retrospect, once it couldn't make this new low pop back up, I should probably enter for a long here. That would have gotten some quick profit. But either way, it is what it is. And the reason why I went 1,000 shares is I noticed that the ATR for this stock wasn't that big. I think the ATR for this is only 47 cents. So I want 1,000 shares. But still, it's not something I should be comfortable with doing. It's too big of a size. Then we have Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola kind of messed me up too. Again, this is why you should have good stop loss. Otherwise, your loss would be pretty big. So I actually went short a few times. I went short here, seeing that it did make this double top. Okay, so this double top worked for me once. It didn't work for me this time here. The reason for this is so I saw that it. Let's see if I can zoom in here. So I went short here because it couldn't break this level. New 5 minute low. So I went short. It did drop a bit. But then it popped on me, right? So it popped on me, and then I got out. So which is at that level, I got out. Small loss. It kept this level, the 46.25, on. I think in retrospect, on the daily level, 46.25 is very close to the daily level. So maybe that's why it got stopped here. I went. In retrospect, I should probably zoomed in on that instead of going short. So I went short, doubled down on this. I think at that point it would be like either 1,000 or 2,000 shares. It popped, and then I quickly got out. So yeah, short, got out, and then I actually went short again, and then it popped, and then I got out. So overall, all my short trades on Coca-Cola didn't work, so $375 loss. It's not good, but I'm glad that I stopped up very quickly. So that's the situation with Coca-Cola. So if I held it, look what would have happened, right? 46.63. And then here I would still be struggling, right? Even if I was holding it, I would have hold for 5, 10, 15, 20, almost half an hour in order for it to get back to my original spot. It's not worth half an hour of fear and whatnot. It'll probably break down again, Coca-Cola. Once it gets past 46.25, it will probably drop quite a bit. But so yeah, I was not proud of that trade. Again, sizes are kind of big, so that wasn't good. And Six Flags. So for Six Flags, I tried to do an opening range breakdown. It worked for me. I went short here because I saw that it went up. This is basically shorts covering. So I went short after the cover. It seems like it was going down. So when it dropped, I covered, and then on the way back up, I covered again. So that was good. And then I saw that I couldn't break this level, and sometimes it would go like this, go down, go up, sort of a pullback, and then go down again. So I went short. Didn't look like it was doing that, so I covered quickly for a small loss. And then here I saw that, okay, now they couldn't do that. This is doing a reversal. Right at VWAP, I went long and then added to my position, and then I quickly covered. And the reason for this is these numbers look small, but if you zoom in, it's like, I think, a 15-20 cent move, and I had 1,000 shares at this point, or 500. So 53, 72, 85, so it's around 53.78 or something. That's a 20 cent move right there. So 20 cent move off 1,000 shares. That's like almost $200 basically. So I covered, and then I start selling towards the high. The reason why I got rid of all these is because it struggled at this level. As you can see, it was at this level for 3 minutes. I don't feel comfortable having stocks that haven't broken through its levels. So I basically got out. And also because this SMA was coming down. You see here, it suppresses it. So I didn't know how fast this was going to come down. It could come down pretty steep, and then this would drop on me. But this actually came up to meet it. So at that point, you see how it basically suppressed it. So as it was suppressing it, I felt like it may drop. So at VWAP again, close to VWAP, I went short, but it didn't do that. It popped on me. I think I went pretty heavy here, 1,000 shares. So I had to cover here, and which is a good thing because then it continued to go up. So 54.76. So that's 76 cents more. That would have been a dollar move right there. So 1,000 shares, that's $1,000 loss. I covered here, 54.05. So that would have been plus the spread too. Even though I covered at this price point, there's probably a spread here. So that's a $200, $300 loss. Or actually, no, 174. Oh no, wait, hold on. No, because I had some. Okay, so that's like about $200 lost. But then I had some other positions. I made some money on the shorts before, as I've alluded to. So that's why it's only 174. But that's not good if I held on to it. So and plus this crossed too. So that also made me a bit weary about not getting out. So glad I did that. And then NTAP. So NTAP, I was just looking at the stock. It was strong, kept moving up, and then it formed this. So I had this high here. Tried to break it. I couldn't do that, and then it started to drop. So that's the first sign when I started to get interested in the stock. Sometimes if it was really strong, kind of like AZN, it would continue to run up and it won't go down. But I saw that this was forming almost an engulfing pattern. So it went down, it went back up, lower high. It did have this level here, which kind of concerned me, and that's why I exited some at that level. So I went short here. The 1 minute looked pretty good, huge engulfing pattern. 5 minute looked good because it was forming a new 5 minute low. So I went short, and then it sort of struggled a bit at this level, so I just got out some. And oh, by the way, this is a pretty big position. I took 2,000 shares. I think NTAP was at 84 cent. NTAP, let me see. Oh no, it's $1.65. So that's actually not something I would do again. But I felt pretty confident about it going down on the 15-minute chart. So let me pull up 15-minute chart. You see, new 15-minute low too. And at the daily level, if I were to look at the daily level, so all of that kind of made me think that it was going to push down. And this was at the high end of the daily level. My only concern here is, like I mentioned before, there's this blue SMA here. So I'm always weary of the SMAs because they're pretty strong resistance or support levels. But it broke through that because of all the other signs that indicated this stock was weak. So it dropped, and I basically covered on the way down. And then because of these two strong SMAs, I was a little quick to cover the remainder of my position. I had very small shares at that point, like maybe 100 shares. It did struggle here for a bit, before dropping. So most of the time I probably would have covered most of it here anyway. I won't have taken much advantage of this move, but maybe, you know, another $20 or so. So it was okay. And then lastly, AIG, which I took a humongous position on, 3,000 shares. I actually did this stock a few times. The last time was 3,000 shares. Typically, I only took like 1,000 shares off of this. So I went short and I covered. It kind of popped a bit, so I wasn't sure what it was going to do at this level. So I tried to do the opening range breakdown, short, it went up, I covered. At that point, AIG, the spread wasn't that big, and it wasn't that volatile, as you can see, or it didn't move as much. It could be another term for it. So I got out and I didn't look at it again. But if I were to stay on this trade, probably would have got it back in at 936 and taken advantage of this drop, which is what I did here at 937. It dropped, took advantage of it, and then I covered, and then covered back on the way up. I held some small positions, I think, so that's why on the way down, and it was struggling at this level, and then I covered all of it at this level. But it did continue to go down further, all the way down to the 40.31 level. And then I went short again when I saw that it tried to go up back towards VWAP, and then it formed this double top. So remember, in the Coca-Cola instance, I did this move, and it didn't work for me. Here, it did work for me. So I went short. I think, again, most of these, I think I only took 1,000 shares. So I went 1,000 shares. It dropped, and I covered because it went back up to my break even. I didn't want to have it go past my break even, so I covered. And then it dropped again, and it held this level. So this is the level it held for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes. So I was figuring, okay, this is probably going to drop. Also, on the 5-minute chart down here, you see that it is forming a new 5-minute high. At that point, I didn't know it wasn't going to go anywhere. But at that point, it looked like it was going to make a new 5-minute low. And then same thing here, right? So this 15-minute chart here forms sort of this star doji, and then it looked like it was going to form a new 15-minute low. So all signs indicated that it was going to do a new 15-minute low. I think I also looked at the daily chart. So daily chart, it was below this, right? So it was already below it. So technically, there was no resistance on the daily chart for it to pop back up. So I felt pretty confident in it. So I won 3,000 shares. So 3,000 shares at that point. Oh no, right here at this point, 40.38, and then when it dropped, I started to cover on my way down, and so that's where I got my 650 from that move. But again, notice how I waited for quite a bit at this level before going in, and even then, it got kind of scary because here it really wasn't doing anything. There was an indecision, a fight between buyers and sellers, and so forth. And the fact that this stock was open short and all that, so I was worried, and I had my finger on the trigger. Once it basically blows past this level, 40.41 or whatnot, near the EMA, I would have gotten out, because if it didn't work here, it was probably going to run up. But then here's another indicator that it may drop, is the SMA is sloping down. So again, that would press it down. So I felt more comfortable taking the short position than the long, but I probably would have I would have gone out for sure, because at this level, it's 3,000 shares. That's a lot of shares. So 438, 430 to 440 something. That's, it's like 8 cents. So 3,000 times 8, that's $240 loss right there. So and then if it keeps running out, that's thousands of dollars. So it's not good. But I did take sizes bigger than I normally would. That's why the commission is higher. It was so that's why my stop outs were much quicker. But as you can see too, if you were wrong by taking bigger sizes, you could potentially lose a lot of money on commissions as well. That's the reason why taking smaller sizes is a better way to go, and just capitalize on the winners more. So anyway, that's that's it for today. Hopefully we'll keep this going tomorrow, and hope people do well. Okay, thanks.